Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching. Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
We are the people of Misr. We have known flight and death. The young go on that our people, you have failed the proving. We are the people of Misr. We have known flight and death. The young go on. We grew soft, Wali. So God brought us the weight of kindliness to prepare for the typhoon. Name the planet where we lost our way. You have failed the... We are the people of Misr. We grew soft on our wanderings. We came to a planet devoid of... You have failed the proof. We are the people of Misr. We have known flight and death. The young go on that our people shall not die. Where did our flight begin? We grew soft, Wali. So on our wanderings, we came to a planet devoid of gods, where war was constant and violence was religion. Have you learned its name, Wali? We remember the slave cribs where we were held, weeded out, persecuted. Do you remember too, Wali? The thread of the past was carried by word until we found the poison drug. One of the cursed planets. So many planets across so many centuries. Our people broke apart, split, reformed. Some planets we barely remember at all. A long journey, young Wali. But we are almost home. Just one last place of suffering, where our children were taken, and the time of Mihna has ended. Young Wali, pass within.
The path of the Zensuni Exodus is rare and hidden knowledge. You are no Masquerade cultist. Who are you? What do you seek here? What makes you say that? How astute. And your accent does the same. Born on Chusuk in a wealthy village to the south, unless I miss my guess. But you've fallen on hard times. That security door is encoded for Fremen biometrics. How did you bypass it? Perhaps we can help each other. I'm a scholar of Fremen social, cultural, and philosophical constructs, both past and present. They fascinate me. And I've studied the layout of this place. It's a death trap. Between the Masquerade trying to blow their way in and the structural damage left by the Sardaukar, the whole thing could come crashing down. Why don't we go together? Then you can call me Ari. I serve no one. Let's say I'm something of a freebooting academic. And like you, my interests lie in discovering the true or more to the south, maybe. Arrakis is a big place. And while we like to think we're at the center of all things, in relative terms, the sphere of Imperial influence is rather small. They could be anywhere beyond the deep desert or the Tanzaruft, as it's known to the Ikhwan Bedouin. Not entirely. I'm sure the Sardaukar massacred them by the thousands. This siege bears evidence of that. But you're right. I don't believe the Imperial account. And I'm hoping the truth, or part of it, awaits us inside. If we survive. Did you encounter the Masquerade on your way here? There's some kind of cult. Worm worshippers based out of an abandoned power station far to the west. It's odd to see them this far east. But if they've found this place, they'll be coming. Down here, water discipline would finally be relaxed. Visitors could shed their dusty steel suits and find refreshment. Looks like there's no other way forward. I hope you brought your cutter ray. We'll probably find that a lot of corridors and subchambers are collapsed and impassable. Some would have been brought down by the Sardaukar to deny survivors. Others would have been brought down by the Fremen themselves to invade the salt field or channel them to a kill zone. Barracks were through here, I believe, and likely an armory. It's probably for the best that they're impassable. Sardaukar doctrine to booby-trap the bodies of their fallen enemy. I believe the siege power plant would probably be through there, and the air filtration systems beyond that. Many of these doors also led to exterior passages where the water keepers would have maintained external dew collectors and wind traps. An extensive massive and lossless pipe system would deliver the gathered water to various catch basins and cisterns throughout the siege. However, all water would eventually return to the main reservoir.
Our first goal on Arrakis is grassland provinces. We will start with these mutated poverty grasses. When we have moisture locked in grasslands, we'll move on to start upland forests, then a few open bodies of water, small at first, and situated along lines of prevailing winds with wind-trap moisture precipitators spaced in the lines to recapture what the wind steals. We must create a true sirocco, a moist wind, but we will never get away from the necessity for wind traps. This ecological transformation of Arrakis relies upon us controlling 3% of the energy surface. Only 3% to start a self-sustaining system. Learn this lesson well. Our transformation begins in the plantations of the south and proceeds in simple steps to begin. Bind the dunes using grass. Secondly, create deep plantings in the shelter of the downwind face. Finally, introduce burrowing animals to aerate the soil. You will be tested on how well you have learned to recognize the language of the ecological transformation. Remember your lessons, and the door to the future will open.
Brilliant work. Congratulations. You share the knowledge of a Fremen pre-adolescent. Good work. This must be the way. That's the Masquerade. I was hoping it would take them longer to arrive in force. We'd better hurry up and be done with our business here. This must be the Cavern of Council, the cultural and political heart of any Siege community. It's here that Siege dwellers would gather to hear a traveling crier regale the community with news from beyond. And up there, upon that great terrace extending over the room, is the reason we're here today. A death still. The place all Fremen end up at death, so they may return their water to the tribe. That script upon the platform reads, "The water of the tribe shall reveal the path." And I believe the path in question is related to the secret that's brought us both here. And while you're clearly no Fremen, you were able to pass their biometric locks without tampering or delay. Whatever lies beyond here, I believe your blood is the key.
Greetings, and Sabak Ukwa. If you are watching this, I am likely dead or captured. I came to Siege Talab in the same condition you'll find it now. Abandoned and despoiled. I must have triggered some kind of hidden alarm, because the Sardaukar were at my heels before long. They found me. I haven't long. So listen well. I was brought to this planet, like you and many others, with one overriding directive: find the Fremen. But when I finally came face to face with my quarry, I did not find the villains as described by the Communinet or the Emperor. Instead, I found a noble people being drawn into a conspiracy not of their making. A conspiracy extending from the very heart of the Imperium to the dark corridors of... I have to go. They don't know where I am right now, but I can't risk them finding what I leave for you. I wish there was more time. I have much to tell you, but your mere presence in this secret chamber indicates that the ones who sent us will not stop until they achieve their aims. I have hidden the details of my journey on a mimetic film locked within the safe on the wall. As with the security door and the death still, our blood is the key. And now, I lead the Sardaukar as far from here as I may. Ma salam.
Tricky Fremen. I believe more than half the technology in this room violates the first 11 Butlerian prescriptions. Who are you, really? This film is encrypted with a kind of protection I've only encountered in the restricted section at the Nemesine Library on Artesia. I believe that encryption was of Ixian origin. That's not good. We need an Ixian decoder to access whatever is on this, and I have access to the resources of a great house. Don't be concerned. I'll reach out when I have more information. If we Atreides are known for anything, it's our stiff-necked honor. Besides, as a mystery, you rank right up there with this film. Parting with people is a sadness. A place is only a place. The Masquerette. Going to try to draw them off. I'll make contact when I have the film decrypted.
Infidels! The lightning worm cannot be deceived! You will pay for your desecration in blood! After them! Do not let them escape! Reveal your yourself. They're here! I require...
pixie and decoder for the mnemic film anywhere. And that is unusual, given the resources I have access to. It's as if they've been deliberately removed from the face of Arrakis. I'll keep looking, but I wanted to let you know. Keep your eyes open. Maybe one of the towns has a black market trader who kept one in stock. I'll be in contact.
In this troubled age, when darkness stalks the land and corruption threatens to extinguish the last light of hope, a lone warrior roams the cosmos. A wanderer with no allegiance to any but truth and justice. He stands as a beacon in the darkness. He stands for those who cannot stand for themselves. He is the last man standing. He is the swordsman. Episode 2732, The Slave Lord of Amaranth. After his showdown on the plains of Jericho with the renegade Hiren Zir, the swordsman finds passage to the Delta Amaranth system in the far reaches of the Trinary Cluster.
Are you sure you wish to disembark here, of all places, swordsman? Amaranth 3 is a remote mining world of little import. No highliner is due to pass this way again for some time.
I am sure, Guildsman. I will find my way.
Very well. A Chone resupply freighter leaves within the hour. I have arranged your conveyance to the surface. Fare thee well, swordsman.
Oh, there, boy.
You run as if the hounds of Hades were at your heels.
Please, Lord, kill me. I beg of thee. Slay me where I stand. I cannot go back to Lord Varric.
Lord Varric. This is not a name known to me. What house governs this world, boy?
For many thousands of years, this stewardship of Amaranth III fell to a house minor with allegiances to the great house Waku.
Waku is no more. Their systems were purged in the Third Colsack War. Their holdings forfeit to the Spacing Guild.
As you say, Sirrah.
The boy speaks the truth, Lord. It's been 6 or so centuries now.
And the Guild has not assumed control? This world must be in a ledger somewhere.
Well, the Highliner comes like clockwork. But we get supplied, and then they're gone again. To wherever Highliners go. We just figure they forgot about us.
Then who is this Lord Varric?
Born a slave like his father before him. The Varrics took control when it became clear we were forgotten.
A Mala, claiming lordship over other Mala.
We must go, Sirrah. If Lord Varric's men find you, I don't know what they'll do.
Take me to the slave called Varric. Justice will be served.
Who dares enter my hall unbidden?
I dare, Mala. You claim authority that is not your own. For that, I claim your life.
Oh, you? What is your name, stranger? I would know what to mark upon your grave.
I am the swordsman. Your false reign is over, Varric.
Guards, don't just stand there. Get him!
Lord Varric, the stranger fights like the Swordmasters of legend.
Impossible! The Swordmasters were destroyed! The remnants scattered!
6 to 1, he is outnumbered, and still, our men cannot strike him.
Fool! They do not have to strike him. They only have to maneuver him onto that trap door. Goodbye, swordsman!
Save your breath, stranger. You took a brutal beating on the way down. Most do not survive the fall, as the bones in this dungeon attest.
Dungeon.
Below Lord Varric's audience chamber, I am Rodrigo.
He is no lord. Not in any legitimate sense.
I'm not sure that's a distinction many here would appreciate. What else is a lord if not a title claimed by force?
A lordship is an investiture governed by the Heritage Council in Section 437 through 441 of the Great Convention. It's a covenant, as old as the Imperium itself.
Ah, but tell me then, stranger, the ones who established your covenant, how is it they claim their power, if not by force? How is it they are legitimate, and the pig Varric is not?
You tire me, old man.
Well, at least we agree that Varric is a pig. Rest now, stranger. You'll need your strength for what is ahead.
Damn it, I oiled that hinge. Can he walk?
Can you walk, stranger? Our last true governor had the unshakable fear that the people would rise against him and throw him down here. I helped to build this secret exit to ease his paranoia.
Did it?
Yes. Until House Waco fell. Then the people turned on him and threw him down here.
But he escaped through a secret exit.
No. He landed badly and died soon after. But we will escape from his secret exit. This is my daughter, Gina. She will lead us to safety.
What about Varric?
As far as Varric is concerned, you're already dead or dying. No one has ever come back from this place. Easy now, swordsman. I've tended to your wounds.
Thank you, both.
My father was a draftsman in the Imperial Engineering Guild, and helped to build this humble colony.
Amaranth III isn't much, stranger, but we are self-sustaining, and the Guild will remember us one day. We were doing just fine until Varric's grandfather took over.
Lord Varric is just the latest in a long line of assholes.
We have seen too many good men fall trying to stand against him. There are enough of you. Why not fight back together?
The fear of death, I suppose. The land here is harsh. The work grueling. Without our men, our families would starve.
Fear is a powerful chain, stranger. A chain we will break together. Send word to the villagers. It's time to end this. Colonists, you've lived in fear of Varric's rule for too long. He is a vile pretender, and order must be restored.
But how can we do this, stranger? We are not an army!
Remember yourselves. You are Imperial peons, with all the rights and protections that station implies.
But who will stand for us? We've been waiting on the Spacing Guild for over 300 years!
I will stand for you, and you will stand for yourselves.
But how?
I will train you, after I have forged a new sword. It's time. Today we break the chains of bondage. Today, we fight! Huzzah! We've gone over the plan. When next we meet, it will be over the body of the dead slave called Varric. Huzzah!
So then I told the farmer, if you cannot pay your proper tribute, perhaps your comely young daughter can pay it for you.
Slave Lord Varric, your false reign ends now.
You? But how? Guards, get him!
A stranger must have trained them.
Face me, Varric.
I will take care of the stranger myself.
The tyrant has fallen. You have won your freedom.
But... No! Father!
Your father fought bravely, Gina. His sacrifice was not in vain.
Thank you, swordsman. You've saved us, but... I lost my father in the bargain.
His spirit lives on in the freedom you now share. Freedom to serve your proper masters. The who will undoubtedly return soon to claim you all.
But what do we do until then?
Hunger and disunity may come, but you must remain steadfast in your duties, and the honor of that will sustain you. Remember, a righteous heart is never truly empty.
You're right, swordsman. Is there any way we can repay you?
Setting things right is payment enough. And now, I must move on.
I'll never forget you, swordsman. Swordsman? Where did he go?
And so, the swordsman leaves another world better than he found it. Join us next time for another chapter in the saga of the Swordsman.
In twilight's glow, where shadows meet, a warrior stands on weary feet. His sword, once bright, now dulled with strife, reflects the toll of countless lives. Oh, fate, you've carved this path of pain through deserts vast, through blood and rain. Yet honor binds my heart tonight. For House Atreides, I still fight. Remember those who fell in fields whose courage were their only shields. Their names engraved in stars above. Their deeds, the legacy of love. In silence now, I take my leave. For battles end and souls must grieve. But know this truth, my comrades dear. In every heart, we still stand near. Oh, house of just and noble name, we've lit the stars with honor's flame. And though my journey's end is near, House Atreides, shed no tear. For in the halls where heroes rest, where valor shines, where hearts are blessed, we'll meet again in timeless peace, where all our pains and trials cease.
Atreides, the voice of the Duke. And now, another revealing episode of Through Their Eyes. First-hand accounts from the front lines, presented by your host, Redondo Monroe. Today we find ourselves at the storied bastion known as Helios Gate. Redondo sits down for an exclusive interview with Captain Marcus Amstrad of the Fighting Fifth.
Captain Amstrad, thank you for joining us today. We've heard first-hand accounts from soldiers like Sergeant Creel, who shared the brutal realities of life on the front lines. Can you tell us about the recent campaign in the Haga Basin, and what the strategic gains there mean for House Atreides?
It is an honor to be here, Redondo. Our operations in the basin are ongoing, but critical to securing a crucial foothold in the region. This operation underscores the strength and resilience of our forces, and our unwavering commitment to justice and honor.
Captain, while securing the Haga Basin is indeed significant, we've also heard about the heavy losses endured by our forces, including the illustrious unit known as Gurney's Own. Can you speak to the toll this so-called War of Assassins is taking on our troops and their families?
Look, Redondo, war is never without sacrifice. But it is through these sacrifices that we uphold our values and protect the future of House Atreides. Our troopers understand the importance of their missions, and they complete them with honor and integrity. The morale of our troops remains strong, and their families can take pride in their courage and dedication.
In previous episodes, we've heard how brutal some of these missions have been, and about the emotional toll on our soldiers. Sergeant Eric Thorne, for example, described the chaos and loss during the final days at Three Rock Station. How do you address the concerns of those who feel that the cost of this war is too high?
The cost of freedom and justice is never too high. Every mission we complete, every campaign and every sacrifice we make brings us one step closer to a lasting peace and a brighter future for House Atreides. Our troops are well trained and well prepared to face the challenges before them. They do so with unwavering resolve.
Captain, some have raised concerns about the ethical implications of our tactics and the impact on civilian populations. How do we ensure that we maintain our moral high ground in this conflict?
House Atreides has always held itself to the high standards of the Great Convention. Our tactics are designed to minimize harm to civilians. Any deviations from the standards are swiftly addressed and corrected. Our commitment to honorable warfare is unwavering.
There have been reports of war crimes committed by Harkonnen forces, as well as allegations of misconduct by our own troops. How do we respond to these allegations and ensure accountability?
The Harkonnens are known for their brutality and disregard for both human life and any type of agreement between the houses. But we do not stoop to their level. Any allegations of misconduct by our troops are thoroughly investigated. Those found guilty are held accountable. However, it's important to remember that our forces are under immense pressure. We must focus on the big picture and the ultimate goal of victory and justice.
Captain, what message would you like to send to the families of our soldiers and the subjects of House Atreides who may be struggling with the hardships of this conflict?
To the families and citizens of House Atreides, I say this. Stand proud. Your loved ones are fighting for a noble cause, and their sacrifices are not in vain. In time, we will emerge from this conflict stronger and more united than ever. Trust in our leadership, trust in our soldiers, and trust in the principles that have guided us for generations. Together, we will prevail.
Thank you, Captain Amstrad, for sharing your perspective with us today. Your words remind us of the strength and resilience of House Atreides. That concludes our interview with Captain Marcus Amstrad. As we continue to navigate the complexities of this conflict, let us honor the bravery and sacrifices of our soldiers and strive to uphold the values that define House Atreides. Join us next time for another episode of Through Their Eyes.
You have listened to another episode of First-Hand Accounts from the Front Lines, presented by your host, Redondo Monroe.
Dune, the battle for Arrakis.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
This is Oliver Cam, your faithful Communinet crier, spreading the word of the Duke and reminding you that hope is not weakness. Real strength is acknowledging that we strive for and even expect a better day. We've got to approach every fresh sunrise as an opportunity to renew our bonds and strengthen our commitment to a brighter future. A future governed by hope and not fear. This is Tolliver Cam from the heart of Arakeen, guiding you through your day.
View from a mountaintop. The song of the sea. Our faithful brother, that ever-present roar, companion to those dreamers of jagged peaks of long ago. Eyes towards the distant stars. Visions not of glory, but of light and hope across the darkest voids. Now, beneath an empty sky,
Sector
our
weather
planet's
alert. A large
glories
sandstorm
lie.
is approaching.
Dreams fulfilled, but lost. Light and hope consumed by darkness deeper than was known. And lost as well in desert, empty as can be. The song of that faraway sea.
Dune, the battle for Arrakis.
And now, the inaugural episode of a brand new series. It's The Young Guardians.
Gather round, fair listeners, as we join our story on the eve of destiny for 3 young lives. 3 faithful aspirants to Duke Leto Atreides' fabled House Guard prepare for their final test at the War Gymnasium. A test that will challenge their training, their courage, and define their future as defenders of House Atreides. Our story begins on the Armatura Green at the Cala City campus of the Atreides War Gym. It is here where the finest young aspirants are honed into noble House troops.
Shields up! Shields up! The honor of House Atreides rests on your shoulders! Defend yourself! You can't serve the Duke if you're dead!
Among the recruits, 3 stand out. Taran, a farmer's son with unyielding determination. Lyra, a skilled sharpshooter born into poverty. And Aemon, a 5th-born Atreides cousin, striving to exceed the lofty expectations that come with his name.
I won't let you down, Lyra. We've trained too hard to fail now.
Keep your focus, Taran. We'll get through this together.
Come on now, we've got a real chance to graduate top of class.
But Taran, Lyra, and Aemon are not the only ones vying for the top spot. Another group of cadets, led by the arrogant and cunning Aiden, has been their main competition and antagonists throughout their time at the War Gym.
Well, well, if it isn't the Golden Boy and his peon patrol. Tell me, Aemon, how does it feel to coast on your family name?
Shut up, Aiden. He's earned his place just like everyone else.
Oh, Lyra, you're still here? I guess your folks found someone else to milk the goats.
Not worth it, Lyra. Focus on the test. We'll show them all what we're made of.
As the aspirants ready themselves for graduation, only the final test stands in their way. A grueling 2-day endurance race to the summit of Mount Sayubi, known as the Peak of Valor Challenge. Ancient tradition states that the aspirant team planting their flag atop the summit first will be named top of class.
Come on, keep it up! We're almost there! Just a little bit further!
Watch out for that loose rock!
As Taryn and team near the summit, Lyra's footing gives way and she slides roughly to a ledge below.
Go on without me. Plant the bloody flag.
Where is everybody?
Not happening, Lyra. Atreides leaves no man behind. Hang on, Lyra. We're coming.
Meanwhile, Aiden and his group are hot on their heels and seize the opportunity to rush to the summit.
Come on, you maggots! Dig deeper than you ever have before! We're almost there! Yes! We did it! I told you those losers didn't stand a chance.
Thank you, guys. I'm sorry I slowed us down.
Don't worry about it. We're a team, remember?
Despite their best efforts, Taryn, Amon, and Lyra finished second in the challenge.
We may not be top of class, but we did right by our friend, and nothing will diminish that.
The day before graduation, Taryn and Lyra ventured into the lecture hall to return a borrowed tome, when something strange caught their eye.
Huh. Strange. The light's on in the Commandant's office.
When you just say the Commandant's office?
Then, who's in there?
Aiden, what are you doing here? None of your business, peons. I was just leaving anyway.
But Taryn had noticed that Aiden slid something under his shirt.
The Commandant's coat.
What about it?
Aiden just put it under his shirt.
We have to tell Amon.
Amon, you won't believe what Lyra and I just saw.
Aiden is a thief.
Identify
He stole the Commandant's console from the buses.
My older brother quizzed me before. I thought it was
Interloper.
nonsense at the time. Who's that? He was asking about a Russian infiltrator and a whispering. I thought he was just giving me a hard time, but... Yes, Aiden is the infiltrator. He must be.
So what are we going to do about it?
You leave that to me.
Shield on!
The graduation ceremony is a grand affair, as the Commandant presents deployment orders to the well-deserving class. Called to the stage, Aiden and his group walk triumphantly up the aisle, expecting to receive top-of-class honors.
I told you, fools who would end up on top.
Aspirant Aiden, you and your group are hereby charged with espionage and treason against House Atreides.
What? No, this is a misunderstanding. Unhand me!
And since this is wartime,
Reveal yourself.
the articles of canon
I
are
will call
clear.
yourself. Reveal yourself.
As for the rest, you have all proven yourselves true warriors of House Atreides. You have earned the right to wear the Duke's coat of arms and uphold the responsibilities and traditions that come with it. Stand tall, for you are the future of our house.
As Aiden and his group are led away by military police, Taryn, Amon, and Lyra rise together with the rest of the class, proud and vindicated.
We did it! We actually did it!
It's not about the accolades. It's about doing what's right.
Identify yourself.
And so, with hearts full of pride and the weight of their ancestors' legacy resting upon their young shoulders, our young guardians go forth as true soldiers of House Atreides.
unseal our orders, and see where we're bound.
Wherever we go, I just thought we're together.
Shall we open them at the same time? On three. 3, 2, 1.
Arrakis.
That's it then. We're going to war.
Join us next time on The Young Guardians as our heroes continue their journey, facing new challenges as they uphold the legacy of House Atreides. Until then, remember, honor and loyalty are the true marks of a warrior.
Someone's here.
You can get a lacquer drug just by burning a lacquer wood. But the smoke won't do much beyond making you not care if you live or die. That's why they give it to gladiators. Makes them fierce. But we'll need to put the Alaka ash through a crystal extraction process to get pure Samuta. A shot of those purified crystals triggers out some Samuta music, and you're in ecstasy.
Ever wonder what it's like out there beyond the safety of the city, where the sand shifts and ancient secrets hide beneath the dunes? Well, let me tell you, there's more out there than spice and sand. The Wastelander Chronicles takes us into the life of a scrappy young scavenger girl and her family as they brave war-torn battlefields, hunting salvage and other buried secrets. Stay tuned, because this is one thing you don't want to miss. It's the Wastelander Chronicles, brought to you by O'Gary's Imports. O'Gary's Imports. If you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it. Join us now as we journey to the blistering sands of Arrakis, where we follow the adventures of the O'Gary clan, a pioneering family of salvage experts, as they scour war-torn battlefields and crash sites to discover their next great haul.
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to the Wastelander Chronicles. I'm your Badlands Scout, Sally O'Gary, and I've got a crazy story for you. It all started when my dad announced a surprise salvage mission. It was just after sunset. Dad had spent all day, as always, mining our storefront and listening to the space traffic controllers going about their business on the Communinet. I always tease Dad and ask how it is he can listen to those encrypted channels, and he just shushes me and tells me to clean my guns. But this was the day Dad's patience and extra-legal Communinet receiver paid off. He overheard a distress call from the Leopoldus, a light freighter carrying machine parts out of Bella to Goose. Now, you might be thinking, Sally, what's so darn exciting about machine parts? But in the salvage game, we learned that a ship listing machine parts on its cargo manifest could be carrying anything from precision lasgun barrels to cybernetic eyeballs, so it's worth the trip. Of course, Dad's not the best with his numbers, so it was up to Mom to triangulate the coordinates and plot our course to the crash site in the minor Erg. As always, when we piled into Clovis, our vintage 68 Chome Landmaster, Mom reminded us of the grim dangers waiting for us in the desert. Bandits, slavers, cultists, and of course, the old man of the desert himself, Great Sandworm. When we finally arrived at the sector our coordinates were within, we hid Clovis under a tarp and moved in on foot. As always, it was up to me and my little brother Coda to scout ahead and look for danger. Now, you might be thinking, Sally, that seems like a grown-up job. Why would you and your cute little brother be sent ahead to scout? The truth is, we rely on that cuteness to lull our enemies into a false sense of security. Then, we kill them real good. Coda can separate a man from his jewels in less than 2 seconds. I've seen him do it. But after a whole lot of dust and nothing, we finally came up upon the coordinates marked on our map. And what do you know? The crash ship was nowhere to be seen. Of course, Mom and Dad immediately set to arguing about it while the rest of us fanned out.
You're an idiot, Finn O'Gary. Don't you dare blame my calculations on this fiasco. I should have listened to my mother and entered the sisterhood. At least then, I'd be married off to a man of consequence.
You wouldn't be married to anything but a mop and bucket. Instead of kids, you'd have hallways to clean. And you know those witches got a lot of hallways.
What do you know about the Bitter Desert?
Hey, Mom and Dad? Look what Phaedra and Bree just found.
While my parents were bickering, my big sisters, Phaedra and Bree, had uncovered a hatch in the ground, beneath layers of sand and screed. It took some cutting, some hurrying, and a whole lot of cussing, but my dad finally got the hatch to open to reveal a ladder going down. Dad led the way, his glow cutting through the darkness as we descended for what seemed like an eternity. The smooth ladder shaft was marked with ancient warning signs in a language that Phaedra said was Proto-Galactic, whatever that means. Dad said it meant that the place at the bottom of the ladder was a part of the old empire. Finn Jr. said they were around a really, really long time ago and sent their scientists all over the universe to very cool stuff. Dad said finding their old stuff is our family pastime.
The fate of the O'Gary clan has always been tied to remnants of the old empire, whether it was back on Hagel or right here on Arrakis. Look at how we're drawn to one of their facilities without even knowing it was here.
When we finally got to the bottom of the ladder, we found ourselves in a small antechamber That's when Mom noticed a series of small, almost invisible switches along the wall. With a little bit of trial and error, we activated the mechanism. A screen flickered to life, displaying a map of the facility. Dad examined the map and explained that we were in an auxiliary substation built to support nearby old Empire ecolabs with technical matters. This was very exciting for Dad because it meant that there were even more testing stations out there just waiting for us to find them. But for now, we had this substation before us. Mom figured out where we were on the map. It seemed we had entered through an emergency escape tunnel, but when we tried the door leading back to the main area, it wouldn't open no matter what we tried. Dad began to despair, but Mom kept her head and found us another route back into the complex through a twisty utility duct. But there was a catch. The utility duct was incredibly narrow, too small for any grown-ups to fit through. This was my moment to shine. With a quick pep talk from my mom and a promise to be careful, I wriggled into the tight space, inching my way forward. The walls closed in around me, but in true Ogari spirit, I kept my cool, determined to reach the other side. About 30 meters in, I felt a tug on the safety rope tied around my waist. It had reached its limit. I couldn't go any further unless I disconnected it.
Sally, you're at the end of the rope. You want to come back, hun?
I can't turn around here. It's too tight. I'll have to disconnect and keep going.
Are you sure, Sally? That's an awful risk. We won't be able to help if anything goes wrong.
You didn't raise me to be a coward. What does Dad always say that Owen O'Gary is for?
Is it obnoxious? I thought it was obstinate.
No, you silly. It's audacious. I'll be fine. Just keep a lookout for trouble. I unhooked the safety rope and kept pushing forward, fingers crossed that the passage would lead somewhere. The angle of the duct meant there's no turning back. If it was a dead end, I was surely a goner. But hey, what's an adventure without a little risk? I think I can see something up ahead. It's an access hatch. Here's hoping I can open it from inside. I need it! The access hatch opened up a huge chamber, lit by a soft, eerie glow. It was a real treasure trove of ancient technology, preserved perfectly through the ages. I had found the mother lode. After marveling at my discovery for a spell, I managed to backtrack to the escape tunnel where my family was waiting. Now I understood why we were never able to open that door. It was blocked by an ancient power loader. Fortunately, the control fob was still in place, so I was able to move that great beast away from the door.
Honey, are you okay?
I'm fine, Mom.
Where are you going, Tim? Our daughter almost died, and you're more interested in salvage.
She seems fine to me. More than fine, in fact. She's spectacular.
Our daughter or the power loader?
Can't we be excited for both? This is a VK5000 powered workloader. The last exosuit to come off the Venhold assembly line before the company was split up into combined mercantile and the full-scale shipping company. You mean, yep, the predecessors to CHOAM and the Spacing Guild.
After the excitement died down, we carefully extracted as much as we could carry, making sure to document everything for later study. It was our most successful expedition yet. Back at our shop, we spent days cataloging and cleaning our finds, preparing them for sale. And that's where you come in, dear listeners.
That's right, Sally. At O'Gary's Imports, it's our Old Empire extravaganza. And you won't believe our prices. We have SD converters. We have anti-induction modules. We have cobalt-tipped frams. We have articulated John doors for men and women. Come find us on the Agora Concourse of the Grand Souk in Arakeen. Because at O'Gary's Imports, if you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it.
Thanks, Dad. Until next time, this is your faithful Badland Scout, Sally O'Gary, signing off and reminding you to always check your sys. And come back next time for another episode of the Wastelander Chronicles.
You've arrived at Botanical Testing Station number 76. I'm stationed near Reinmark Thermal.
The Huffaf vines are progressing well, and we can look forward to a good harvest of both Huffaf oil and Crimscale fiber. With careful cultivation, our yields should easily meet our requirements. But I will remind you once more of our bargain. I teach your slavers to make Crimscale bindings, and in exchange, I gain the right to sell the oil to the lens makers.
A song of two homes. I remember the spice-scented air and shadows cast by twin moons. Fleeting light, dust devils dancing on the dunes. Gold on gold, a wind whispers throughout empty nights. To rustle and caress the sand, the landscape shifts and sighs. Rises up and forms anew, sings a song to me. And I see our footprints, swallowed by the sandy sea. I recall the mist of morning tides, and the scent of salt upon the breeze. Gentle and soothing, waves caressing the deep and restless seas. Blue upon grey, the ceaseless call of seabirds out among the cliffs. The salt waves fall and rise, born now and dying, salt tears sting my eyes. How long ago it seems, and I know that our gardens blossom only in my dreams.
A forceful blow from an ink-vine lash marks the target with a permanent beet-colored scar. But that's just the start of it. The ink-vine scar never quite heals, nor does the intense pain, which can linger on for many years or even decades. That's what makes the Inkvine Lash so feared. The presence of an Inkvine Lash should be enough to break even the most stubborn captive. Too many strokes will leave a victim crippled by pain and of little value in the slave markets.
Attention, rope makers! Do not use your fingers to extract fibers from the vines. Crimscale fibers claw tighter as you pull. You will lose circulation and fingers. Fingerless workers have no value to our operation. Use the tools.
It's going to be another hot one today, folks. It's already 70 degrees Celsius in the shade, and the day's just started. All we can do is put one foot in front of the other and face what comes with honor and determination. This is Tolliver Kent from the heart of Erakeen, guiding you through your day.
Your insistence on testing the products was distasteful, but the captive's attempt to kill me certainly made it more palatable. Despite his size, a single strand of Crimscale rope was sufficient to completely restrain the subject. The more he struggled, the tighter it became. I can only assume from his howls of agony that the Inkvine Lash performed as intended.
First-hand accounts
As a
from the
further
front
note,
lines,
a strand of Crimscale placed around the throat is an effective means of silencing a prisoner. Any attempt at vigorous shouting causes the Crimscale to draw tighter. Be warned, this will almost certainly prove fatal if coupled with the agony of Inkvine blows.
Fiona Thorne, a devoted mother, has remained steadfast and resilient throughout the long years of conflict. Her diary reflects the unwavering morale of the Atreides families, supporting their loved ones and our fighting forces. One fateful day last year, our Special Missions cohort executed a daring raid against a Harkonnen position in the minor erg known as Three Rock Station. Sergeant Eric Thorne, a highly trained member of the elite strike force known as Gurney's Own, was part of that operation.
Another sleepless night. The sound of the wind reminds me of the distant echoes of battle. I can't help but think of my son, out there in the desert, fighting for our beloved Duke.
I've heard rumors that Eric was involved in the incursion at Three Rock Station, and that the confrontation became very bloody. But still, he writes that his spirits remain high. I pray for his safety and the swift end of this bloodshed.
In his letters sent from his unit, as Gurney's own are deployed wherever the need is greatest, Eric expresses both resolve and an unwavering commitment to our cause.
Mother, the Harkonnens fight viciously, but our intelligence is sound, and we're able to hit them at their weakest. It's hard to remember the peace and serene beauty of our beloved Caladan when all you see is sand and blood. The soldiers in my unit are strong and determined, and I draw strength from their courage. I miss you and home dearly, but I know our struggle is just.
After the fierce fighting at Three Rock Station, Eric's unit was redeployed to the Western Reach, striking against Harkonnen spice crews in the deep desert. Through sheer determination, a critical position was taken, but at great cost.
The news I hear about Eric's unit is grim. Many lives lost, including some of Eric's closest friends. My heart aches for him, and for all the families grieving tonight.
Mother, I feel that our small unit is a valuable resource in this war of assassins. We've lost many good men. My dear friends, it's hard to keep faith when you see so much death. The Harkonnens are brutal and show no mercy, Mother. They burned our wounded alive. I've seen them torture our captives in ways I can hardly describe. But I remember what you always said about our duty to the Duke, about honor and courage. I try to live by those words, when everything seems lost.
As the confrontations
You've arrived at
along
Botanical
the demarcation
Testing
lines
Station
grew
number
fiercer,
76.
Gurney's own
I'm
succeeded in
Station
breaking
Leader
the
Reinhard
Harkonnen supply
Thuringer.
lines. But in
We at
many
the
of the
station
missions,
have been
they
assigned the
suffered heavy
task of
casualties.
exploring the viability
News has reached
of
us of
numerous
another
commercially
successful
important
operation.
botanical species from
But
across
Eric's
the
last letter
Imperium.
spoke of horrors I can barely
On
fathom.
Arrakis.
I am hoping now, beyond hope, that his unit will be given reprieve, and that my son will be returned to me.
But destiny willed it otherwise, and Gurney's own were deployed once again to undermine Harkonnen positions near the shield wall. From the mission camp, Eric writes,
Dear Mother, I don't know when I'll be able to write again. The Harkonnen positions are strong, and however careful our planning, we are sure to sustain grave losses. But still, none of us hesitates. We fight for House Atreides, for our people. Though I must confess, even the glory of Three Rock Station feels hollow amidst the bloodshed I now have witnessed. I must tell you, Atreides operatives too have been driven to acts I thought unimaginable. And I miss you. I fear I may never see you again.
later that same month, it was reported that Sergeant Eric Thorne was declared missing in action during a clandestine raid. His mother's heartache reminds us of the ultimate sacrifice made by so many.
Eric is missing. My son, my brave boy, lost to this endless war. I am proud of his courage and his honor. But I cannot help the bitterness that fills my heart. We give so much, and for what? What good is there? And when the endless sands of the ranks swallow our children whole.
Fiona Thorne's sacrifice is a testament to the strength and resilience of House Atreides. Let us honor her and all those who endure the trials of this war, as we strive for a future where their sacrifices are not in vain.
You have listened to another episode of Through Their Eyes, first-hand accounts from the front lines, presented by your host, Redondo Monroe.
You have returned, Offwelder. It's like any other frontier pest hole, full of misfits who couldn't make it in the social order. All kinds. The sandflies are probably the closest. Would-be anarchists with delusions of grandeur. Since we're talking, they're new around these parts, but don't take them like us. They're true believers. Some kind of local... Then we have a deal. I will teach you. Strange. You have returned off. You've already been trained. There are others out there.
And now, we journey to the front lines with another episode of The Young Guardians, as we follow 3 young cadets on their journeys to glory. And now, The Young Guardians continues, a captivating saga of bravery, loyalty, and sacrifice.
When we last left our 3 young House Atreides aspirants, they had received their orders to join the War of Assassins on Arrakis after crossing the known universe on a guild highliner. Our heroes are briefed on what awaits them in the desert sands below.
Now, you must think of the planet's surface as you would any environment hostile to human life. Because make no mistake, troopers, while you're there, while there's oxygen to breathe and the atmosphere won't kill you outright, everything else will. Your destination is Helios Gate, a Bastion-class fortress overlooking the northern frontier. You'll be reinforcing 3 Company of the 5th Rapid Deployment Cohort. Captain Amstrad and the Fighting 5th have repelled no less than 23 direct enemy actions in the last standard quarter. That means you'll be relieving some tired and haggard troops. And, just remember why you're here and who you're fighting for. That's right, for the Duke.
As our 3 young Guardians cross the gangway to their dropship, certain nerves and anxieties come boiling to the surface.
Taryn, are you okay?
Whoa, you just missed a trooper on the lower gangway. He didn't even notice.
Gross!
Yeah, I'm okay. Oh, I think that slig chowder isn't sitting too well.
It's okay to be nervous, Taryn. I'm bloody terrified. Although I'm not sure if I'm more afraid of the Harkonnen or the planet itself.
Both are horrible. But my greatest fear is failure. Letting my family down. It's hogwash. You've already lived up to your family name.
We were top of our class at the war gym. Our names are inscribed on the Great Pillar.
After Aiden and his crew were disqualified. And summarily executed. But I have so much pressure on me to perform. You peons can't possibly understand what it's like to be not familiar. To live under a microscope. 1,000 rules for every little thing. Sometimes I'm jealous of the freedom you guys have.
Freedom to toil for every waking hour.
Or freedom to starve when the crop yield is low.
What about freedom to be beaten if we bump into one of our betters?
You know what I mean. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just worried about our deployment. Worried about what? My brother says Helios Gate is outdated and of limited strategic value.
So?
Well, you heard the commander. 23 direct enemy actions in the last standard quarter. Is it really worth the risk? I thought you wanted to prove yourself, Golden Boy.
Life must be so hard as a noble.
Okay. I'm an ass. Lay off me. Look, we just need to stick together and remember our training.
And who knows? These things ebb and flow. We may not even see any action for quite some time.
As their dropship navigated the flak-filled descent corridor, our three Guardians could see the action unfolding below.
Get up, that platoon! We are coming in hot! We are entering a live combat zone! Do not, repeat, do not linger at the dropship once we are touched down! We need marksmen to observation decks, and the rest of you, reinforcing access points. Helios Gate must hold.
Taryn, Lyra, and Amon are deployed to different positions around the Helios Gate fortress. Taryn is stationed at the main gate, ready to repel all comers, while Lyra is perched on an observation deck with scope and las rifle.
They're trying to cut the gate solenoids. We need a marksman tasked on the front gate.
I got you, trooper. Cuttery, team down.
Meanwhile, Amon and his team of Suspensor-born skirmishers streak across the sky through a fusillade of lasgun fire.
Land behind them! Land behind them! On my position! Textbook flanking maneuver.
The battle raged on as the numerically superior Harkonnen forces pressed their advantage. But while the defenders of Helios Gate were outgunned and outnumbered, their fighting spirit remained unbroken.
We're not going to be able to hold the gate for much longer.
Negative, trooper. We've got 4 guns keeping their honest up to the bay.
Look out, Burrow! That squashed some hearts.
As day turns to night, the Harkonnen forces prepare for a final desperate assault. The defenders, exhausted but resolute, ready themselves once again for the coming battle.
This is it, troopers! Helios Gate stands tall once again! We have gunships coming in on an assault vector from Para East. We just need to hang on until they get here. For the Duke!
In the thick of the battle, Taryn continues to defend the front gate, his strength and determination an inspiration to those around him.
They're trying to break through the old-fashioned way.
Lyra's precision fire thins the ranks of the oncoming enemy as Amon is redeployed to the battlements.
I've been hit! The front gate isn't gonna hold!
Taryn finds himself in a perilous situation. he is injured, and the position he holds is about to be overrun by the enemy. Lyra, from her vantage point, sees Terran's predicament and desperately tries to provide cover fire.
Hold on, Trooper. I'm trying to cover you. Damn many.
But then, just as hope seems lost, Amon streaks, Suspensor-born, across the sky and fights his way to his fellow young Guardian.
Come on, Terran, let's move! It's too late. The gate won't hold. We're gonna be overrun.
Are you sure about that, Terran? So much for the hard front line. That's it. They're falling back. And they're broken.
When the smoke clears, the casualties on both sides are many. But in the end, the Harkonnen forces are repelled, and the defenders of Helios Gate stand tall. But at what cost?
You've done your due proud this day, troopers. Helios Gate stands because of your bravery.
We did it. We really did it.
23 confirmed kills. I'm told that's a fortress record for newbies.
And this is just the beginning. Now they know what we're capable of. For House Atreides, and for each other, we'll face all comers together.
And so, the siege of Helios Gate comes to an end, marking the first of many trials our young Guardians will face. Their journey of honor and courage has truly begun.
Join us next time on The Young Guardians as our heroes continue their journey, facing new challenges as they uphold the legacy of House Atreides. Until then, remember, honor and loyalty are the true marks of a warrior. This is Tolliver Cam, your faithful Communinet crier, spreading the word of the Duke and reminding you it will get better. War is hell, but our cause is just, and there's no other possible outcome than total victory.
into the jaws of death. One more June. One more June. One more June onward. Into the desert storm flew the brave soldiers. Forward the shield brigade! The las guns must down, he said. Into the desert storm flew the brave soldiers. Forward the shield brigade! No one to hesitate, despite their reckless hate. Harkonnen, villainy. The troops not to ask what's right. They carry our sacred light, theirs, but to stand and fight. Into the desert storm blew the brave soldiers. Las guns to right of them, las guns to left of them, las guns in front of them, lightning and fire beam, forward to final breath. Boldly they flew, and well, into the jaws of death. Into the mouth of hell flew the brave soldiers. Flashed all their crisp knives bare, flashed as they turned in air, slicing the gunners there, charging an army, while Arrakis all wondered. Plunged in the battle smoke, right through the line they broke. Harkonnen and Sardaukar reeled from the crisp knife stroke, shattered and sundered. Then they flew back, but not all of the soldiers. Las guns to right of them, las guns to left of them, las guns behind them. Lightning and fire beam forward to final breath. They that had fought so well came through the jaws of death. Back from the mouth of hell, all that was left of them, left of the soldiers. Ne'er will their glory fade. Oh, the wild charge they made! Atreides, in debt to them, honor the charge they made. Honor the shield brigade. Oh, noble soldiers.
It's the Wastelander Chronicles, brought to you by O'Gary's Imports. O'Gary's Imports. If you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it. Join us now as we journey to the blistering sands of Arrakis, where we follow the adventures of the O'Gary clan, a pioneering family of salvage experts, as they scour war-torn battlefields and crash sites to discover their next great haul.
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to the Wastelander Chronicles. I'm your Badlands Scout, Sally O'Gary, back with another wild adventure from the Wastelander Chronicles. Today's story is a real nail-biter. We were out in the Haga Basin, tracking an off-course freighter when we had the most incredible and terrifying encounter. Let me tell you all about it. We were cruising along in Clovis, our trusty 68 Chom Landmaster. It was supposed to be a routine trip, nothing special. But then, out of nowhere, a rock slide showered down from above and blocked our way. And when the sand and dust settled, we were surrounded. Over a dozen of the fearsome desert warriors, known as the Fremen, materialized from the gloom. At least we thought they were Fremen, but their faces were hidden behind weird iron helmets. But Fremen or no, these guys were all business. The one with the biggest helmet stepped forward. He seemed to be in charge and didn't waste any time accusing us of trespassing on Masquerade territory.
Masquerade? I've heard of these clowns.
Maybe not a good time for name-calling, hon.
We tried to explain that we were just friendly explorers, but they weren't having any of it. The one in the big helmet said we were infidels, defiling the electric worm's domain. Whatever the heck that meant.
A cargo cult. Fremen wannabes. Dude Shaz warned me about them.
When were you talking to Dude Shaz?
Not now.
Well, was he talking to you, or were you talking to him?
Here we go.
I'm just asking. Don't I have a right to know why my wife is always chatting up the handsome sheriff?
He gives good intel.
Is that what you call it?
By that point, I guess Big Helmet had enough of Mom and Dad's bickering, because he got real mad and ordered us buried up to our necks in the sand. But just as they were gonna drop us into chin-deep pits, something incredible happened. The Moskret started yelling about something they call Shai Halud and lit out of there like their tails were on fire. Turns out, Shai Halud is the local name for the big sandworms. Well, I don't have to tell you what happened next. The ground started rumbling and rumbling like never before. I swear it must have been one of those super granddaddy sandworms you hear about living in the deepest desert. I figured it must have took a wrong turn at the shield wall and ended up on our heels. But I'll tell you what, when it comes to worms, Mom and Dad know their business and led us to safety on a rock island with practiced precision. When the dust settled, the worm was gone and there was no sign of the Moskret. Or was there?
I've got their trail. Good job, son. Follow it.
And why are we following it again?
They threatened my babies.
The trail led to a depression in the rocks where the Moskret had made camp. They posted guards, but they were no match for us. The best part is, after we killed them all, I found an old handwritten map tucked into Big Helmet's boot. It smelled like farts and old cheese, but I slipped it into my bag anyhow. I know, stealing isn't right. But Dad always says that if they're dead, then it really isn't stealing. Anyhow, we took the helmets and left their gross corpses to the scavengers before finding our way back to Clovis. As we headed back home, I couldn't wait to show Mom and Dad the map. It could be the start of our next big adventure. Back at our shop, we spend days spit-shining the helmets to a mirror polish as we get them ready for you, dear listeners.
That's right, Sally. At O'Gary's Imports, it's Masquerade Mask Mayhem, and we won't be undersold. We have big helmets, we have ugly helmets, we have big and ugly helmets. Come find us on the Agora Concourse of the Grand Souk in Arakeen, because at O'Gary's Imports, if you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it.
Thanks, Dad. Until next time, this is your faithful Badlands Scout, Sally O'Gary, signing off and reminding you to always check your six. And come back next time for another episode of the Wastelander Chronicles.
How about that, folks? The deep desert holds more than just spice and sand. It holds stories of resilience, of daring, and of discovery.
desert, so when word got back to us of a Harkonnen bastion being raised, our commanders knew what to do. 7 different cohorts, including the 5th Mesa Infantry and Gurney's Own, were simultaneously deployed in a coordinated attack. The whole operation was brutal. The Hark defenders much more vicious than we were used to.
And yet, you and your fellow soldiers managed to execute the mission with surgical precision. Can you share a specific moment from that operation that stands out in your memory?
There was this one moment, I guess. The Hark bastion was still hand-built, and we'd taken out a group of engineers, but we were spotted by a fortified lasgun position from the finished part of the bastion and pinned down. They were really tearing us apart. But somehow, we managed to get behind them through the hand-built works. I remember crawling through the blood-stained sand and rubble. The smell of dead fire. When we finally took out that position, at least, it felt like a small victory in this ceaseless ocean of despair.
Your bravery is truly inspiring. As the operation continued, what kept you and your fellow soldiers going?
Duty, honor, the things they drill into you from day one. The example set by the fearless men of Gurney's Own. But honestly, in the end, it's all about the man next to you. It's him you fight for, to keep him alive. It wasn't about grand ideals anymore. It was about survival.
House Atreides prides itself on its moral high ground and honorable conduct. How did the principles of passion hold up under the extreme conditions of battle?
Canley. That's dash on the pressed uniform. For us. Reality. Changes. These missions. You do things. Thought you would. Remember one night. Harkonnen survivors. They seemed different somehow. As if the brutality of the war had drained all humanity out of them. I even remember...
Sergeant Creel, it's clear that the emotional toll is heavy. Perhaps we can focus more on the moments of camaraderie and hope that you experienced during these dark times.
The what? Well, yeah, I mean, there are moments, sure, but... Like between missions, people share stories, laugh about the little things. Anything to keep the darkness at bay. But those moments are fleeting. The reality of what we have to do is always there, lurking in the background.
And during the shield wall operation, what was the state of your unit at that point?
It was pretty chaotic. At that point, we were exhausted, barely holding on. More than half the unit was replacements by then. Young, inexperienced kids, really. Just hanging on by the skin of their teeth. The Harkonnens had good intel. Days and I can count it. I mean, we were just trying to stay alive, you know? Mission by mission, but... Really? What was the point of it all?
Sergeant Creel. Can you share with us the impact your involvement in these operations has had on you personally?
I mostly just
sharing your story with us.
Yeah, thank you. I just hope it was worth it.
And that concludes our interview with Sergeant Creel. His story is a stark reminder of the sacrifices made by our brave special forces. Let us honor their sacrifices and strive for a future where this can finally end and the Harkonnens are eradicated from all of Arrakis.
You have listened to another episode of Through Their Eyes. accounts from the front lines. Presented by your host, Redondo Monroe. In twilight's glow where shadows, a warrior stands. His sword once bright, now dull with strife, reflects the toll of countless lives. Carved his path of pain, through deserts vast, through blood and rain. Yet honor binds my heart tonight. For House Atreides, I still fight. Remember those who fell in fields, whose courage were their only shields. Their names engraved in stars above, their deeds the legacy of love. In silence, now I take my leave, for battles end, and souls must grieve. But know this truth, my comrades dear, in every heart we still stand near. Oh, house of just and noble name, we've lit the stars with honor's flame. And though my journey's end is near, House Atreides, shed no tear. For in the halls where heroes rest, where valor shines, where hearts are blessed, we'll meet again in timeless peace, where all our pains and trials cease. In twilight's glow where shadows meet, a warrior stands on weary feet. His sword once bright, now dulled with strife, reflects the toll of countless lives. Oh, fate, you've carved this path of pain, through death and bad, through blood and rain. Yet honor binds my heart tonight. For House Atreides, I still fight. Remember those who fell in fields, whose courage were their only shields. Their names engraved in stars above, their deeds the legacy of love. In silence, now I take my leave. And souls must go. But know this truth, my comrades dear, in every heart we still stand near. Oh, house of just and noble name, we've lit the stars with honor's flame. And though my journey's ended, House Atreides, where valor shines, where hearts are blessed, will meet again in timeless peace.
father was a sergeant, old and bent and grey. He served the Duke in '88, back in a bygone day. He lived out in the desert and scraped his meager fare, with children 9 around him and Ren, the youngest there. The older siblings learnt some sense, but Ren was left without. He was tall, but short on wisdom, and grew up broad and stout. Pious, cheerful, willing, yet he seldom did things right. What will become of you, poor boy? His father asked each night. And finally, Ren answered, a soldier, sword in hand. If all else fails, at least I can still die for Duke and land. Ren packed his bag and went to join the brave Atreides troop. Strong and fit, and healthy too. And learned the skills of war. The soldiers screamed and laughed and screamed still more. For when ordered to turn left, Ren would quickly turn to right, and told to shoulder arms instead, and he charged with all his might. Ren Darvo's drills and troubles became a well-known tale. Even famous Duncan Idaho would smile at his travail. And when at last Ren's unit was ordered off to war, the officers for that choice. Ren was the others, I can't go, I'll go alone. Just wait. He took his sword and backpack and marched out with the rest. At camp, he was their servant, fulfilling each request. But when the battles raged, he was ordered to stand back. He didn't understand when to take cover or attack. Duncan Idaho was on the run, Harkonnens in his tracks. He passed Ren Darvo's unit, shouting, "Boys, you watch our backs. Don't let the devils through the gorge, or all of us are lost. Guard it until we regroup. Keep it safe at any cost." A small detachment, made up but of barely 20 men, got there in time to make their stand. Along with them came Ren. The Harkonnen fell on them hard, their lasguns raining death. And 7 brave Atreides men gave up their costly breath. The same disastrous fate would soon befall all those who'd stay. So when ordered to retreat, they all retreated straight away. All but one, who stayed to fight and charged the foes instead. Ren couldn't get the notion of flight through his stubborn head. He just stood there, broad and strong, and ready now to teach a lesson to each Harkonnen. At the choke point of the one by one, were forced to learn. They charged at Ren, but each unit was moved and bested all the same. None beaten at this game, for Atreides' honor, house, and name. Duncan Idaho had rallied all the troops that still were hailed. He shouted, "Hold out, my brave lad, we're coming, do not fail." He told all who would hear him, watch a true Atreides fight. Hurry, boys, come to his aid, he has saved us all tonight. Against that fearsome counter-strike, no Harkonnen could hold. They faltered, failed, and turned their backs, a rare sight to behold. Their faces pale, their weapons dropped behind them as they ran. And Duncan looked around and asked, "Where is that fearless man? He who held the gully until we could all return, that hero of the desert. His name I must needs learn. He has fallen, said the sergeant, his head bowed down in shame. He lies there dead upon the sand. Rendavo was his name. I remember him, said Idaho, of Ren who'd seemed to rest, but for the blood that stained the shirt across his mighty chest. That lasgun knew just where to strike, as plainly you can see, said Idaho to those around. Yes, it knew more than we. It shunned his brow. 'Twas weak and poor, that much all of us knew. But found instead what better was his heart, forever true. The word spread quick among all those who had survived the fight, and every soldier did agree Duncan Idaho was right. Rendavo was no thinker, his mind slow, truth be told. His head, they said, was thick as wood, but his heart was made of gold.
We meet again. Fantastic. Let's see what you found out. Yes. This is it. The Catheri... I do. Things are progressing. We've decrypted that spy's report. We're still sifting through data, but it links the renegade Skorda to someone I know. Flag Officer Katrina Kloros. Katrina was commander of the Catheria when the ship went down. She survived, but it's now clear that she turned deserter following those events. She's the missing friend I mentioned. At this point, I have more questions than answers. I don't like where any of this is leading. My superiors have been monitoring Katrina, but she won't talk to any Atreides. They want to know more. I want to know more. I need you to talk to her. As someone less official, you might be able to get her to talk. She has to know something that makes this madness make sense. Based on the previous intel you gathered for me, from those Harkonnen deserters, she's near the wreck of the Catheria in the Haga Rift. My superiors didn't seem at all surprised by this revelation. They're holding something back. They've known. I want to say words I should not say. Agreed. None of us see the same person in the mirror as when we first landed on Arrakis. Will you go find Katrina Kloros? I eagerly await your report. There's just one more thing. Do whatever it takes to convince Katrina to return to the fold. She was a mentor and a hero of mine. She stands for everything I once believed in. Our path has become so twisted. This war of assassins corrodes our honor and identity. It corrodes me. The Atreides are not the Atreides anymore. I'm at the edge. I need a win. Everything seems to turn out wrong. But we can save her. We can make it right. I have to believe that. Thank you. It means a great deal to me. And more.
It's the Wastelander Chronicles, brought to you by O'Gary's Imports. O'Gary's Imports. If you want it, we have it. And if we don't have it, we'll get it. Join us now as we journey to the distant sands of Arrakis, where we follow the adventures of the O'Gary clan, a pioneering family of salvagers. Battlefields and crash sites. Discover their next
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Hey there, everyone! Welcome back to the Wastelander Chronicles. I'm your Badlands Scout, Sally O'Gary, back with another wild adventure. After that scary Shin was scary when I was little. The way he got that faraway look in his eye when he did his computing. Master Chin would have taken one look, and before you got a word out, he'd have done a sector-by-sector comparison of the map with known topography. But in this case, Dad didn't want anyone knowing the secrets of the map before he did.
I'll figure it out myself.
Mom said he was being a paranoid old fool, but what should have taken 30 seconds took 2 days. And don't you know it? 2 days later, we found ourselves piling in the Clovis, our 60-inch homeland master, and set a course for the Hoggabasin. Once we were underway, Dad unfolded the map and pointed to a marking that looked like an angry eagle.
This is our destination. Look at that old Empire facility with not a It was a maintenance facility. You know, a bunch of tool pushers they kept around to fix stuff for the eggheads. I guess a scientist can tell you how much a pound of worm shit weighs, but put them all together in a room and they still can't turn a screw to save them.
Take it you're not a heat mirage. Who are you? A bit late for that. Even if I wasn't dying, there's no going back now. Anton always was sweet. And naive. I envy that. He won't have it much longer. He was practically a kid when I trained him. An orphan turned soldier. Guess I filled in for something he was missing. May as well ask your questions. Only thing I have left is time. And I don't have much of that. Of course you are. It all leads back to Skorda. I know him. Maybe I can even tell you what I know about him before my insides turn to slurry. He was my brother in blood. Saved each other's lives more than once. He was always a loose cannon, though. He always had this ability to make you look the other way. Like the time the Duke himself stepped in on his behalf. Or that last favor he asked me. I was commander of the Catheria. Skorda asked me to carry some cargo aboard. No records, no questions. Smuggling, sure, but he said it was important. I agreed to all that. It's just how it was with Skorda. We got ambushed over Arrakis. The Catheria, the Delphus, and the Euphoria. All shot down. It'd be a kindness not to answer. But it's not far. Just over yonder. But if you're looking, the only one who could have known those particular containers were of any significance. Damn you. Damn you, Skorda. Wasn't what it seemed, whatever it was. Every crash survivor who came in contact with it eventually died. And they didn't die well. I held each of them while their bodies liquefied. While they screamed for loved ones not there. I think my body held out so they wouldn't have to die alone. But I'm fading fast. Skorda betrayed me. My house abandoned us. Secrets and secrets. I called and called. When I finally contacted my superiors, they were worried about diseases or contamination. But agreed to send... Time passed. A lot of it. I marked it in the deaths of my... She told me to leave the sick behind. They couldn't risk taking them back. I don't think there was ever a plan to help us. I think we were just a petri dish to be studied. Poor Anton. He's getting the hint. I could tell. He's just slower to let the ideals go. You tell him I did my duty, as I saw it. You tell him that. Andrea Gannon. That's who I talked to. She spoke of my crew the way scientists talk about lab rats. I wouldn't go back. Even if I wasn't dying,